2022 has been an absolutely fantastic year for anime so far. But with summer just around the corner, things are gonna get really hot.
なあ、知ってるか？お前の血ってすげえうまいんだよ。
Welcome back to DoubleDollars. We've got a list of the 10 upcoming summer animes that are absolutely new and a definite must-watch. Honestly, a lot of these could become some of the greatest animes of all time. Number 10, The Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting.
楽しみにしてたからきっとすごく喜ぶよ。
私も楽しみ。
Quite unlike most animes out there, this is a series that actually focuses on creating a high-quality comedy that's set to keep you clutching your sides and laughing throughout. But at the same time, the Yakuza's Guide is able to swivel and deliver some hard-hitting emotional notes that really came through in the original manga. And this is definitely a manga that you're going to need to check out. The original series has actually received a number of nominations when it was first released.
どうしたんですか？そんなに慌てて。虫でも今。ダメ。え？入っちゃ
ダメ。
お嬢。
The story itself is about Toru Kirishima. His life of crime has paid off, and he's become one of the leading figures in the powerful and dangerous Sakuragai crime family. Although at work, he can be extremely aggressive and violent. One day, his boss gives him the weird task of taking care of his daughter. Toru can't be the vicious gang member that he was born to be, and we see these two completely different characters change each other for the better. Number 9, My Isekai Life. Oh no, not another Isekai series. Yeah, before you skip ahead, you need to know that My Isekai Life fully understands exactly what it is, and it's always looked to set itself apart from the rest. The light novel and manga series started back in 2017, and this anime adaptation's been requested for a very long time. There's a lot of hype behind this release. That being said, there's a fair amount of source material that the creators can draw from to guarantee some quality twists, turns, and story arcs. We follow a classic isekai MC, Yuji Sano, a corporate worker that lives an unbelievably boring and tedious life. Heading home yet after another long day, turning on his computer and seeing a strange message that invites him to another world. Our hero doesn't think much about it and he accepts. The next thing you know, Yuji wakes up in a fantasy world that's everything you can imagine. With no boring paperwork and job, our hero is soon surrounded by a number of interesting characters and sets off on a classic isekai adventure that takes some interesting departures from the classic genre. Number 8, Uncle from Another World.
いいの？
いいんだ。
One of the new wave of isekai-type animes that have taken a look at the classic anime genre and made some interesting innovations to it, Uncle from Another World is a perfect example of how a few key changes can elevate a solid anime series and really make it something great. Takafumi certainly appears to be a regular kid living a normal life, but things start to shake up when his uncle wakes up from a 17-year-long coma. Turns out his uncle was involved in a crazy car accident and has been asleep in a coma since then. And you guessed it right, turns out that Takafumi's uncle actually spent the last 17 years living inside of a magical isekai world. And although people think that he's crazy at first, Takafumi soon learns that his uncle really isn't lying, as he was able to actually bring back some of his magical powers. Takafumi starts off as the classic anime otaku fan, asking as many questions as he can and learning a lot about his uncle's time spent in the isekai world. But Takafumi soon starts to learn that these isekai worlds aren't as great as many of us would like to think.
とにかくこれ以上高文に人生踏み外させないでください。
ああ、君は高文が好きなのか。
Number 7. Vermeil in Gold.
じゃあ地味。
An exciting new Elite Academy-type anime, Vermeil in Gold brings some classic anime tropes alongside some interesting innovations and brilliant world-building that's really set to make this one of the hottest animes of the summer of 2022. Set in the Royal Ortigia Magic Academy, we follow Alto, a young girl who's actually having a very difficult time at school. She's literally about to fail her summoning magic class and is afraid of having to repeat the entire year again. Sounds familiar, right? The story really kicks off when Alto finds a mysterious and magical book. After flipping through its pages, Alto draws a magic circle on the ground, and after using some powerful spells, is able to literally summon a sealed demon. The demon becomes Alto's familiar. A kind of master-servant type relationship is formed between Alto and her familiar, Vermeil. We learn that Vermeil is actually a fear devil that has an insane amount of power. He's literally able to cause disasters around the planet. Vermeil needs a lot of magical energy just to stay alive, and the only way that she can get this magical energy is by passionately kissing Alto. And the plot thickens as we meet Alto's childhood friend, Lilia, as she grows jealous of the devil-sister relationship.
もうちょっと信頼してほしいね。私の飼い主なんだから。
危な。
Number 6. Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. A unique adventure fantasy comedy type series that isn't afraid to really let its imagination and creativity run wild. The series starts with Yuhi Amamiya, your average college student, waking up one day to find a lizard in his bed. The lizard begins to explain that Yuhi has been selected as the Beast Knight and the only potential savior of this fantastic world. The Beast Knight needs to defeat a powerful mage that wants to destroy the entire world with a huge cosmic space hammer called the Biscuit Hammer. Yuhi doesn't need that kind of stress and responsibility in his life, and he doesn't want any part of these crazy, life-threatening adventures. He really doesn't want the future of the entire world to be on his shoulders. But things soon change as he soon meets the beautiful princess.
なあ、聞いていいか。なんで関西弁なんだ。
気になるんそこ。
Number 5. Cyberpunk, Edgerunners. Cyberpunk might be technically considered a Western creation, but the fact that this project had the involvement of Studio Trigger guarantees that it'll be part of the highest quality anime series of 2022. But who is Studio Trigger? Formed by the creator of Gurren Lagann, one of the most defining modern anime series in recent times, Studio Trigger has been directly responsible for some of the biggest anime series out in the past few years, ranging from the highly influential Kill la Kill and extremely widespread Darling in the Franxx. Studio Trigger directly involved with Cyberpunk anime project is something we can't wait to see. As we can see from this impressive history, Studio Trigger and its talented team of creators understand humor, action, and style. Core components that are a natural fit to the world of Cyberpunk. But if you aren't a gamer, then you probably aren't aware of the huge waves that Cyberpunk made until release. A long-teased and easily one of the most hyped-up games of all time, Cyberpunk is set in the distant future, filled with humans and artificial limb replacements. An extremely iconic and high-concept world, Cyberpunk brought forward one of the most engaging and defining entrants into the dystopian future that we've ever seen. Number 4. Call of the Night.
なあ、知ってるか？お前の血ってすげえうまいんだよ。
Call of the Night borrows some of the best parts about being a vampire, while ignoring some of the more traditional and boring aspects. Furthermore, the core story itself is actually pretty lighthearted, with an awesome mix of romance and comedy. The whole series itself is actually quite new, with a manga recently released to a seriously loving community leading to this upcoming summer anime release that we cannot wait to check out. Call of the Night is set across a world that is filled with vampires and humans. The 14-year-old high schooler Ko Yamori is the perfect MC. Bored of his average life as a high schooler, our hero lives a seriously unsatisfactory life, and he even stops going to school. Instead, Ko walks around the streets at night, trying to keep himself occupied. The story begins to kick off when Ko comes across a strange girl during one of these nighttime walks. Nasuma might be pretty and strange, but she's actually a vampire. The two start to bond, and Nazuma shows Ko the sort of joys being a night walker can bring. Although Ko wants to become a vampire, it's not as simple as getting bitten.
何してんだよ。早くおいで。
Number 3. Bastard. A very unique post-apocalyptic dark fantasy series, Bastard is a brilliant series that tells a riveting tale of sorcery, revenge, and intense power struggles. Bastard is set in a world filled with magic users that need to use their powers just to defend themselves against dangerous wild beasts. But the story itself focuses on the 4 powerful kingdoms that rule this world. There is a very fragile balance maintained. But the story kicks off when the 4 Lords of Havoc decide to attack and aim to destroy everything in their path. We have no choice left, and the High Priest decides to unleash the Dark Wizard Schneider. He used to be insanely evil, but he might be our savior. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Or is it? Number 2. Engage Kiss. Welcome to the ultra-futuristic Veyron City, a mega floating metropolis that's quite different from what you'd expect. Engage Kiss spins a very interesting and realistic tale of teenage love, brought to life by a cast of really down-to-earth and believable characters. Leading the pack, we have Shu, a young man that owns his business and loves spending all his money. The story really kicks off when he comes across a young high schooler by the name of Kisara, with his life really thrown into a mess by his ex-girlfriend Ayano. Engage Kiss is set to be a very real anime. Every single character has their very own list of flaws and issues. Every single conversation feels real. We encounter a lot of difficulties with teenage relationships with no easy answers, and someone always ends up getting hurt. Engage Kiss is a brilliant series that shines in a lot of ways. Number 1. Black Summoner. Kelvin finds himself waking up in a weird and strange place with literally no memories of his old life. We learned that he opted to actually trade away all of his memories in exchange for some powerful new abilities that are set to help him in this interesting new world. With no time to waste, Kelvin sets out and begins his fresh new life as an adventurer, alongside a powerful new ally and friend, a beautiful goddess that actually helped bring him to this new, interesting realm. Kelvin knows that his new life is set to be way more interesting and epic than his last, and he really begins to love his time in this isekai-type realm. The series itself does have some awesome characterization and interesting key plot points, with our hero facing off against a number of classic and unique enemies from Black Knights to ancient evil spirits. One thing's for certain, Kelvin loves to fight, and he's definitely great at it. The fight scenes across Black Summoner are absolutely fantastic, and we guarantee that a few of them are going to be considered some of the greatest anime fight scenes of all time. A brilliant core journey and plot with interesting chemistry between the 2 main characters and some fantastic fight scenes really bring it all together. Black Summoner is a hot new anime series in this summer that you're definitely going to want to watch. Well, that's our list for today. Thanks for joining us at $. Let us know what you think and whether we've missed any animes in the comment section below. please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you in the next one.